former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Oren. Michael, it's good to be with you. I want to start you here. This is the latest from President Trump. A couple of big posts on Truth Social. He said, first of all, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, in brackets, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. And then a few minutes later, the president followed up with this, said unconditional surrender. Sounds like he's done talking to Iran. He just wants them to lay down their arms. He wants them to agree to end their nuclear program, or it may escalate from here. What are you thinking in this moment?
I think it's extraordinary. We're in a truly historic moment. John, Gillian, always good to be with you. Who would have thought? This is one of the world's most wicked regimes. It's not just that they have tried to destroy the state of Israel again and again for the last 46 years. They are the world's largest state sponsor of terror. They're responsible for thousands of deaths of Americans, too, around the world. They are the major backers of Hezbollah and Hamas that triggered this horrendous Middle Eastern war for the last year and a half. They supplied the drones and the rockets that kill Ukrainians. I can go on and on. This is a truly wicked, wicked regime. And when the president says total surrender, unconditional surrender, we couldn't agree more. And we hope it's not just about their nuclear program. It's the end of Iran's support for terror. It's the end of Iran's attempt to assassinate American leaders, including President Trump himself. I mean, who lets a regime get away with that? It's not just about their ability to enrich uranium. So it's an extraordinary moment. And we greatly appreciate the president's support for us throughout this crisis. It's providing us with munitions, even with jet fuel. And if the president decides that he, in the United States, wants to intervene directly, we're the last people who are going to say no.
Well, let me ask you this question. Can Israel accomplish its goals of eliminating Iran's nuclear program without U.S. help?
But about eliminating, we certainly degrade it extremely. And if the Iranians do come back to the negotiating table, they're going to negotiate about dismantling the program and not just capping the enrichment. And the great thing is they'll be discussing dismantling nuclear facilities that are already dismantled to a certain extent. And yes, we do not have strategic bombers. We don't have B-52s or B-1s, B-2s. We have these wonderful American-made jets, F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s. They've just done an extraordinary job, and the president praised American weaponry today, and we couldn't agree more. But again, we don't have planes that can carry these bunker-busting bombs. They weigh 30,000 pounds that can penetrate an underground facility like the facility at Fordo. We could take our time. We could begin to sort of peel off various layers of that mountain, but that would take a very long time. The United States can do it much more swiftly, cleanly, and effectively.
Well, the issue, though, is Fordo. And if there were to be a ceasefire declared and Fordo was intact, do you have any belief that the Ayatollah would actually agree to dismantle that, or would it be left intact and eventually, he, as he's done so many times in the past, drag this out, at the same time reconstituting and rebuilding his nuclear program so that in a couple or 3 years you'd be right back here where we are now?
Exactly. That's our feeling, too, that the whole system, the whole architecture of the Iranian nuclear program has to be dismantled and has to be verified, whether it's dismantled through an agreement or dismantled through kinetic measures, as they say euphemistically, by military measures. That is OK, too. That's the goal, though. But I would stress it shouldn't be just about the nuclear program. It has to be what we used to call, sort of the euphemistically, Iran's malign behavior, as if Iran was sort of wrecking its room in some way. Iran, the world's state sponsor, just killed hundreds of Americans in Beirut, as you remember, John. Assassinated American leaders, everyone from John Bolton to Mike Pompeo, to the president himself. And by the way, they tried to assassinate me when I was in Washington, D.C. They don't care. These people are terrorists, and they should not get anywhere near a nuclear facility.
So, we talk about the head of the snake, and President Trump has said we know where the Ayatollah is. He's safe for now, at least. Apparently, there are reports that the president vetoed the idea that Israel would take him out. Senator John Fetterman was on Fox earlier today and said he thought that was a mistake. Listen here.
I think they should have targeted him. Absolutely, taken him out. I think the way Israel operates, they just take out the leadership, just like they did with Hezbollah, and they've already done that with the Iranian leadership. Just took them out, even laying in their beds, and they didn't take down the whole building. They actually targeted where they lay in bed.
So what do you think about that, Michael? I mean, you took out the head of the military and the new heads of the military. They were just taken out this morning. You took out Nasrallah. You took out Haniya. You've taken out Hamas leadership time and time again on the ground there in Gaza. Why not just get rid of the Ayatollah? Or are you concerned with what might follow in the power vacuum?
Well, I think it's more that I don't think anybody in the state of Israel would shed a slightest tear if Mr. Khomeini would meet his maker, and I think the maker would be very happy to see him. No, I think what I really thought, is my background is in military history. When the president said unconditional surrender, what does that evoke? It meant when Roosevelt said that about Japan in World War II. And when Japan surrendered, Roosevelt and the Allies said, well, we're going to keep Emperor Hirohito, even though he bears a tremendous amount of responsibility for the attack on Pearl Harbor and the horrors that Japan affected throughout the world during the war. We're going to keep him because we need his legitimacy to legitimize the surrender. Now, that was the first thing that came to mind. Preparing for the day that Iran does agree to total unconditional surrender.
All right. Maybe you do need a prominent leader in order to make it legitimate. Michael, always good to talk to you. Thank you so much. We hope that you and your loved ones stay safe through all of this.
Thank you for your support. Okay, bye.
All right.